Hey, what is up guys, it's Myztik here and welcome back to another video. Today I've got a very special 100k squad builder for you guys. It is a little bit cheaper compared to the other squad builders that I've done. I thought it would be a bit more accessible and you guys might enjoy that a little bit more. So yeah, I am doing this video slightly differently. It's going to be more of a post-com rather than live commentary because at the time of recording it I was actually ill, but yeah, besides that, let's get on to looking at the team, and here's your first look at the squad. Now, we've got a very overpowered team actually. Sturridge, Martial and Mane up top are pretty sick and pretty cheap for how well they perform for me, and obviously we've got Kante in the midfield, who is one of the most overpowered players on the game, and also Butland in goal, who is also known to be one of the most overpowered players on the game. Now, before we get into the player instructions and the custom tactics, I'd just like to say that there is actually more money available for you to play with and to spend on extra upgrades if you'd like, because since I recorded the video, the price of the team has actually dropped from 100k down to 70k, so you've got a bit more money to play with. Now in the background you can see me going through the player instructions and the custom tactics, and you can feel free to copy those if you'd like. They work very well for me and I would actually recommend you do the same. But yeah, in general this team is very solid, and I would also like to point out that I have got a red Keane and a pink Smalling in the team. Now these can be replaced by the actual versions of these cards, and I have included that in the price, so you can put in the normal Smalling and the informed Keane and it will still add up to, well, 70k rather than 100k. But yeah, I am actually going to show you the stats on the front three, and yeah, Sturridge has had 153 games, 108 goals and 55 assists. Martial 174 games, 80 goals and 73 assists, which are both incredible. And Mane's had slightly less games, 69, 37 goals and 20 assists, and the main reason for this really is because I've had so many different versions of Mane that all of his games, goals and assists have gone onto this card. So we're going to get into the first game here and we'll get into talking more about the team. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is start from the top and work my way backwards with this team. And so we'll start off with the top three, Mane, Sturridge and Martial. First thing I'd like to point out is they're quite clearly all very pacey, but not only are they pacey, they're also actually quite strong, like they've got good physical. So when you're running with them down the wing or through the middle, whatever, then if you use the L2 shrug button, like to push them off the ball, then they're all actually very good at that, and not only can they outpace the defenders, but they can also outmuscle them off the ball as well. So the next thing I want to talk about for the top three is that they are actually all very good headers of the ball. Because they all have fairly high physical stats, it means when you put the ball into the box, they are actually all capable of winning a header and scoring a goal from that. I mean, obviously Sturridge is going to be the best at that because he is probably the tallest and the strongest, and he is a striker, which means he is more capable of winning headers, but they are actually all very good at this themselves. And the last thing I want to talk about the top three is that they are actually all incredible at finesse shots. You probably don't see it too much in the games that I show because there's only a certain amount of highlights you can show and a certain amount of things you can do in a game. But especially Daniel Sturridge, they are all incredible at finesse shots. So if you do get the ball on the edge of the box or you have a clear opening, then I would recommend trying to finesse the ball into the back of the net because they are very good. But obviously if you do get the chance to use a double circle across the goal, then that is probably the most OP shot of the year, then you're probably going to likely take that option. But just know that the finesse shots on these players are actually incredible, especially Daniel Sturridge. Okay, so now moving backwards, we're going to move on to the midfield now, and the first thing I'd like to say about this midfield is that they are actually all very good all-round players, so they can all pass the ball, they can all finish, they can all defend, they're all okay at dribbling, which means, you know, whichever player it lands on in the midfield, or whoever you end up selecting, then they're all very capable of doing the same thing. Now obviously we do have Kante in the midfield, and he is quite clearly one of the most OP players on this game this year. So I mean, if you get the chance to use him, then obviously I would take that. But Kante is definitely the best midfielder in there by far because he's just so good at defending, so good at tracking back, he's good at finishing. He can do pretty much everything you want him to do. Although he's only small, that would be the only weak point. So he is still quite physical. He can still win the ball, but he's not as tall as some midfielders, like for example the higher rated Pogba or people like that. So that would be the only downfall about Kante. But in general, they are all very good, and I mean, Fernandinho and Gueye or Gueye, however you want to say his name, are actually all very similar to Kante in a way, and they can all do the same sort of stuff. They've all got the same abilities, and they're like Kante, just slightly less OP this year. So now moving backwards, once again we move on to the defence, and the first thing I will say about the defence is that they are actually all quite pacey. I mean, you can see that the two centre-backs do actually have a fair amount of pace, and they are actually able to keep up with most regular strikers, as long as they're not using the OP fast sweaty ones, which most people do. But if you come up against a regular striker, then they do very well, especially as they have, you know, quite good physical, and they're able to push people off the ball, they're able to win the tackles. They are actually very good central defenders. As well as the two centre-backs, obviously Van Aanholt and Walker are two of the fastest defenders in the Premier League, so they are also very quick, and not only are they quick, but they can also win physical battles, and they can obviously tackle because they're good defenders. But yeah, the defence all round has good strength, good defence, good pace, so they are actually a very good defence. And obviously the informed Keane and the regular Smalling are included in the price, and don't forget that if you did want to upgrade any of these players, then you obviously have 30k spare, so you can do that with whatever player you'd like to do really. And finally we move backwards to the goalkeeper. Now as you can all see, we've got Jack Butland in goal, probably the most overpowered player on this game. Nobody has actual reason as to why Jack Butland is so overpowered this year, but for some reason he just works, he just manages to save so much. I mean, there are times when if you had a better goalkeeper such as De Gea, then he wouldn't let in such sloppy goals, but I mean, for the most part Jack Butland is an incredible goalkeeper, especially as he's only costing about 1k, 2k at the moment. So, but now I'm going to talk a couple of weak points that the team might have, and the first one I would say it's not really a weak point, but I would say that you want to go to defensive as soon as you start the game, because with the formation it is quite attacking, and sometimes you can get caught out when you've got all your midfield pushing forwards and there's nobody back to defend. And especially with the way I defend this year, I kind of bring back the midfielders to help out with the defence. So I mean, if you get caught out with them all going forwards, then it can be a bit of a struggle to, you know, get the ball cleared, and can actually cause a little bit of trouble when you've got no one else to help you out. The second thing I would say about a weakness in the team is that although the midfield is very good, it is an all-round midfield with the extra 30k, I probably would upgrade maybe one of those players, because having a better midfielder means you can control the game a bit more, you can hold possession a bit more, and you can just do generally better. But that's where I'd spend the extra 30k if I was about to build this team again, so keep that in mind. But other than these points, then the team in general is actually very good, and I would recommend, as it's only 70k, it is an incredible team, but there will be more squad builders coming for a higher price if you guys do want to see some of that. So drop a comment letting me know what kind of price you guys would be looking at. And yeah, obviously in the background you can see that the first game we won 2-1, and we're moving on into the second game now. He's not got such a great team, and we actually did batter this guy. We got so many shots, I just struggled to score so badly for some reason. I don't really know why, but I just could not get the amount of goals in that I probably should have scored. Okay, so now I've pretty much finished saying what I want to say about the team, and I think I might move on to a little bit of a discussion maybe about FIFA 18, or what I'd like to see from FIFA 18. Okay, so first of all, I think I would actually like to see a game where there is a bit more need for strength and more physical, because although that they did bring this a bit more this year, and obviously it was very passing predominant this game this year, but there is still an element where pace can just be abused, and I think if FIFA could sort that out and maybe balance the game a bit more, then in FIFA 18 it would be a brilliant game. Secondly, I have actually heard that from playing the beta, the defending is actually quite manual this year, so you don't really get the AI to help you out as much, and apparently it's also very laggy and there's a bit of button lag, and if they can't sort out the defending in FIFA 18, then I think people are going to have huge complaints about this, and maybe wouldn't want to play the game as much as they're hyped up about before its release. But having said this, maybe they're doing it on purpose, because the likes of FUT Champions and the more competitive gaming, maybe they want to see more goals, more action. And yeah, they could actually potentially be doing it on purpose to make defending actually quite a bit harder, so that there's more goals in these competitive games. And lastly, I would actually like to see a lot more stuff to do in Ultimate Team, because although there is actually quite a bit to do at the minute, but I just think it would bring so much more fun, and the game would actually last quite a lot longer if there's more stuff to do and people wouldn't get bored of it and the game wouldn't die out so quickly. So if they really want people to carry on playing this game for long periods of time, then I think that's the best way to go, really. Okay guys, so that has been a 100k squad builder. There is still quite a bit of footage to go, I believe, so I'll just let you enjoy that in the background, and hopefully you guys enjoy playing with this team if you do build it yourselves. But I will be back next time with another squad builder, maybe a bit higher price, or it depends what you guys want to see, really. Leave a comment in the description and I'll be happy to do what you guys want. But next squad builder probably will be still quite affordable, because I mean the higher priced ones are, I do understand that they are quite out of range for some people, so I'll try and keep it as low as I can. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.